What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Today, we're going to talk about the WNBA Conference and which one is actually strongest over the entirety of the WNBA. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment, tell anyone who's anyone about the show. Trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. And if you wonder where you heard this before, that's because you've been listening with me Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I greatly appreciate your support. Now, in today's game, right, if you look at today's standings, point in time, the top 4 seeds in the WNBA come out the West. And matter of fact, let's take it a little step further. The top 12 seeds in the WNBA, 7 of them come out of the West. The top 4, and then 9, 10, and 12. Now, again, that's the Lynx, the Aces, Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, Golden State Valkyrie, Dallas Wings. All of them are out the West. But then you also got the Portland Fire, Phoenix Mercury, and my Los Angeles Sparks, which, wish we could climb up a little bit higher. But we're here. That's what it is. Is this a fad? Like, is this something that's new? I can't quite say that, ladies and gentlemen. The West has historically been the tougher conference, right? Like, that's what it's usually known as. If we go back all the way to the inception of the WNBA, right, 1997 to about 2002, it was the West. You had the Houston Comets. They had a dynasty, right? That 4 title run. You had my Los Angeles Sparks and their rise. The Sacramento Monarchs. Oh my goodness. The Utah Stars. They were fairly strong. Then we go 2003 to about 2010. Again, that favors the West. You had Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm. Again, Sacramento Monarchs, my Sparks, the Minnesota Lynx. They begin to emerge. 2011, 2019. That's when you have the Lynx dynasty, right? They were going to the finals pretty consistently. Then you also got to sprinkle in the Phoenix Mercury, the Seattle Storm. Again, my Sparks. The Aces came up through a little bit too. Remember, the Mystics actually won a championship. Cool, heard you. But again, consistently, the West produced more dominant teams. 2020 to 2023, it's a little bit more even, right? You got the Aces. Okay, Seattle was doing their thing for a little bit. But then we also had the Connecticut Sun. And then the Liberty actually formed up. And again, the Mystics had just won a championship 2019. I know I said 2020, but remember, that's like right there. So you do got a couple of Eastern teams that are producing. But again, the West, it's the one. Now, in 2024 to present, again, that's nearly even, right? You got the Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, and Golden State. Hey, Golden State's been playing pretty well so far. And again, the Dallas Wings. But on the flip side too, though, we got the Liberty, who we understand are injury riddled, but again, the seeding is what it is. The Fever, they got some good talent for sure, right? Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, good talent. Atlanta, they've been pretty decent in terms of talent over the last couple of years. I'm just saying, ladies, even Washington looks pretty strong, and they're young. So again, ladies and gentlemen, in present day, it has gotten a little bit closer. But historically, the Western Conference has been the better one. And it's earned that reputation. Again, we're talking about more dynasties, right? The Houston Comets, 4 straight championships, like I told you all. My Sparks, the early 2000s, we were out there hooping. Then we ended up getting Candace Parker, 2008, took off. Then we got Nneka Ogwumike, won a championship. We got 2 MVPs right there, 3 really with Lisa Leslie, 2 included back in the early 2000s. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot. Phoenix Mercury, you got DT and Diana Taurasi. You got BG. Then you ended up getting Satu Sabali, Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, Kalia Copper. Like, these are good players, ladies and gentlemen, that the Mercury had. Sure, could they have won some more championships later on? Yeah, they could have, but they did. They did win some championships, to be clear, with DT and BG. Just saying. Minnesota Lynx, again, 4 championships. Nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at. And they could be en route to getting a 5th one soon. Like, that's a possibility. Seattle Storm, again, got 4 championships. Like 4 championships, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that's a consistent theme around here. Again, the West has been dominant. Aces, back-to-back champions, ladies and gentlemen. Back-to-back champions, winning multiple, winning 3. That's a lot. The East certainly has had champions. But when we're talking about dynasties, like I just rattled off, the East doesn't quite have that. If we're looking at MVPs and superstars, many of the greatest players spent the bulk of their careers in the West. And you know what? Maybe we got to start thinking, is that a trend? Because I do know that has happened in the NBA as well, too. Is this due to livelihood and lifestyle? Maybe the West is better to live than the East. Maybe that's another discussion from a societal standpoint. But we have Cynthia Cooper, we have Lisa Leslie, we have Lauren Jackson, we have Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, Maya Moore, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Candace Parker. We got a bevy of good talents out of the West. And yes, don't get me wrong, the East has had some good stars. Tamika Catchings, Elena Deladon, Tina Charles, Jonquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark. But even when we think about today's game, the West can be added on. Paige Beckers, Olivia Miles. Like, there are so many young stars still in the West right now. So again, when we're talking about history, I think it's fair to say that the West wins. We talked about championships. Again, the Comets, 4. My Sparks, 3. The Storm, 4. Phoenix, 3. Sacramento got 1. Minnesota got 4. Aces got 2. That's 21 championships right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if we go to the East, that's 7. Detroit got 3. Indiana got 1. Washington got 1. Chicago got 1. Connecticut got 1. New York got 1. But the only team to actually win multiple were the Detroit Shocks. So again, ladies and gentlemen, the West wins. Now, the East has closed the gap. The East has closed the gap over the last couple seasons, like I've been saying, okay? And again, they got the New York Liberty, who they've been perennial title contenders. Indiana Fever, again, with the Caitlin Clark addition. They got a young, talented group. They look to be like maybe they could do something in the next couple of years. Atlanta Dream, they have had talent. It's just an inconsistency thing from them. Washington Mystics, they just got to get more experience and even get a better point guard. Connecticut Sun, they remained as one of the competitive teams for years. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the expansion teams, maybe that adds more fuel to the fire. Maybe that helps out the East. Who knows? But I think it's fair to say that if you broke down the WNBA history-wise, like let's tier it real quick, right? I think it's fair to say from 1997 to 2019, the West won by a landslide in favor of the East. Like if we were gonna classify it, I'd say the West had an A, East had like a B. Now 2020 to 2023, West is still at an A, but the East did catch up. They're more at like an A minus now. 2024 to present, I think it's fair to say that the East and West are now splitting. You got to remember, Liberty won a championship, then Aces won a championship in that tenure. So, I mean, we talking splits right now. And now if you want to focus on overall talent, that may need to be another discussion. But at least right now, but let's just focus on championships. Yeah, at least it's balanced. At least it's balanced. If we're looking at stars, at least it's more balanced, ladies and gentlemen. So that is nice to see. So again, I hope you understand and I hope you're realizing that the West has been the better conference within the WNBA. But I'm curious, do you view that differently, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think that the East is going to overtake the West? Or will the West continue to run amok? Like they say, history repeats itself. So let's figure that out. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So again, while I acknowledge that the West is the better conference, at least at minimum historically, I also acknowledge that the East is trying to catch up. So I do look forward to seeing some good basketball. And again, with the 4 seeds the top 4 seeds, at least point in time, being the Lynx, the Aces, the Valkyries, and the Wings. And then out of the top 12, we got 7 going towards the West. I think it's safe to say that at least this season, that trend is going to continue. But you know what? Hey, maybe one of these Eastern teams come up and mess up some of the seedings. Or maybe one of the Eastern teams remain a little further in the playoffs this year. Like maybe we see 2 Eastern teams go out into the play. I don't know. Go pretty far and do pretty well. Maybe we see something. But that's another discussion for another day. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said, that does conclude the end of the episode. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone, 1, about the WNBA, and 2, about my show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you're all having a good one. Take care.